Welcome to another edition of Cowboys and Chill here at Echo Lounge. And, of course, I'm Clarence Hill of All City, Dallas. Been doing this every week, every Thursday here at Echo Lounge. And Law Nation, producer extraordinaire, putting us all together and putting us down and getting us right and getting us all set up. If y'all think we look good in this, it's because of Law. Law got us looking good.
I appreciate it, bro.
You know,
yes, indeed.
He biting off my swag. He got the sport coat.
No, I took it off.
You took your hoodie off? I took my sport coat off.
Your jacket?
I took it downstairs and I took it off because I wanted to show all City Dallas and I forgot to put it back on. And,
there you go.
And, of course, the guest tonight, Isaiah Stanback, former Cowboys receiver and rising media star.
Yeah.
Rising media star, certainly does a lot of things with the Cowboys and on all their media channels, but joined NFL Network this year.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on that,
Appreciate
too.
it, fam.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Was that your dream?
Bro, I hit my dream at a young age, so now everything is just going with the flow. You know, my dream was honestly to go pro baseball, turned that down out of high school, and then went the football route. Once I finished playing in the league, it was like, all right, well, whatever else comes.
You saw that baseball money.
Don't even talk about it, dog.
He was just talking earlier about he wish he was still playing football, and probably should have wished he was still playing baseball because of the football money they're getting.
Listen, that was the hardest decision of my life.
But when you retired, what did you do? I know you got a gym.
Yeah.
And you started doing that.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else you were doing, and how did you kind of fall in to this media game?
Yeah, so 2 years prior to me retiring, I sustained my last injury, which was my Achilles injury. I had a bunch of injuries, unfortunately. I was just one of those guys. Tore my Achilles. After that, I was like, you know what, I need to start working on Plan B. So I went back and started going to get my graduate degree. I went back and got an executive MBA from George Washington University. In that process, you start trying to find yourself, right? Start trying to figure out who you are outside of sports. So met up with a bunch of great people, a lot of people that are friends that are ex-athletes that are now doing great things in business, and kind of just a meeting of the minds, and I kind of started finding my avenue in terms of what I wanted to do next, and that ended up being starting a personal training facility. So I started that prior to retiring. So once I retired, I literally came home and started building that business. And then in terms of my intro to the media, for years people were telling me that I should be doing media, but I was so locked into building my business that I was kind of like, all right, all my personal ambitions are to the side. I'm trying to build a community, help people, all that jazz. And then after a while, the wifey got tired of me talking on the TV about all, and me talking about it and commentating, and then the guys on TV saying the same thing I said.
You saying.
So I finally was like, all right, you know what? Yeah. After serving people for so many years, maybe it's time to actually give myself an opportunity to give myself some attention and a potential career. So I went to this thing through the NFL PA, which was called the Speakers Bureau.
Okay.
Which is down at University of Southern California. Went down there and just learned how to speak and how to present yourself in front of people. From that, it became a network thing. One of the guys who was there presenting, his name is Jerry Madelon. He is the GOAT when it comes to on-air coaching. He's the one who discovered Stuart Scott. He's responsible for him. But so Jerry Madelon ended up hitting me up probably about a year later, right before COVID hit. It was like, hey, are you in the Dallas area? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And he was like, okay, well, the guy who runs the media for the Dallas Cowboys is looking for somebody to be on a podcast. Is that something you'd be interested in? I said yes, right? I already made my commitment to God. I already said, hey, I'm gonna do this for me.
Do this,
And from that point forward, started doing a podcast at that time it was all remote because everybody had their, it was at the crib. And then from that, it just went on. I ended up doing like 6 or 7 shows on the Cowboys platform. That was my first year. The next year, I ended up getting the color commentating opportunity with the Cowboys.
Right, you did a great job with that.
And then from that, it just kept snowballing, man. I got one opportunity, one game, went to 2 games, went to 3 games, picked up CBS last year. From that, now I picked up NFL Network this year.
Yeah, so I want to break this down, or I want you to break this down to the audience. Steadfast.
Yeah.
What do that mean to you?
Yeah.
Because that's the name of your fitness.
Yeah.
From a biblical aspect.
Yeah.
But what do it mean for you?
Yeah, well, it's founded on the basis of 1 Corinthians 15:58. Be steadfast and abound in the Lord in all your ways. And really for me, it was my career was nothing but injuries, right? And it's something that I couldn't prevent. So that was the hurdles that I had to continually overcome, and I did, right? Every time I was faced with that, it was like every time I ascended to get to what I wanted to attain in life, right, to get the big boy money, get the check, sit on your butt money, God knocked me right back down, right? And then I had to build myself back up, and I'm focused on getting that bread again, and he was like, nah, this is not what it's not for you.
Boom.
So for me, it was always trying to find a way to remain steadfast and remain consistent in my character and my will, my determination, and trying to overcome the adversities that life throws at me. And then I recognize that everybody has a story. Right. So steadfast as a culture to me was something that bound everybody together. And that's how I kind of came up with it.
That's I'm glad with your thought, because I was going to ask about the name of the gym so people can know, where it is. Because I got a lot of friends that go out there, Shell and
for sure.
And so I'm glad you said that, because everybody got a story. Because that's why I like writing. I journal because everybody got a story.
Sure.
That's the best thing about being a journalist, because you get to tell somebody's story.
Absolutely.
And whether it's like you or like Michael Irvin or Deion Sanders.
Correct.
It doesn't matter how big, how small, how long your career is.
How you got there.
Everybody has a story. That's the beautiful thing about what I get to do is I get to tell people's stories.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And again, we're continuing your story. NFL Network, how's that been for you?
It's been awesome. Blessed to have an opportunity. Went down to the broadcast boot camp this year. Actually, my first time being in the broadcast boot camp was online during COVID. I got accepted into the program, but it was during COVID, so you couldn't go on site. So it wasn't really the full experience. Met some people, again, just using your network, got tied in, and they kind of slid me through the program and got me in again this year. And I went in, took full advantage of it. For people that don't know what it is, it's an opportunity for you to go in about 25 players at about 400 submissions. They select about 25 guys, current and former players, to come into NFL Network headquarters down in L.A. And it's pretty much like a 3-day just boot camp. And from that, you get all the elements of media. You get on-air media, you get podcasts, you get radio, you get all the different facets, and you're getting coaching and teaching by the head producers for all the top networks. So Amazon, NFL Network, NBC, I'm talking about the GOATs of the industry are in there watching you and coaching you, but also for some people it's coaching. For some people it's an active resume, right? It's a working resume,
a live resume.
A working interview.
Yeah.
So for me it was a working interview. So I went in there with the mindset, hey, this is my one opportunity to show out in front of all the decision makers. Like, how often do you get to be in a room with all the decision makers? It's equivalent to being in the room, instead of just being in the room with Jerry Jones, you're in a room with all 32 owners.
Lord.
You know what I mean? So like that. So if you miss on that, you're just missing. So I took advantage of that, put out a good showing, and then from there they called me and said they want to put me on a 30-day appearance type of deal, kind of like a rookie contract. And see how it goes. And it's been going really well.
How many days?
I got 3 days left. I got 3 days left.
You gonna make it.
I got 3 days left.
He gonna make it, y'all.
We're going to get another 30 days.
Another 30 days.
Another 30 days. Well, speaking of what's left, Cowboys got 4 games left.
We close.
It's funny because we still have a chance. Well, they got less than 1% chance of making the playoffs.
A milk's chance, what I'm saying?
Just talk about this team and really doing something they haven't really, majority of this team have not experienced, playing games with nothing to play for. They've 12-5. They've been competing. Mike McCarthy talked about he's never really been in a situation where he's had to shepherd a team, lead a team, and motivate a team that's out of the playoff chase at this point.
Correct. Yeah, it's a bad situation to be in. I've been in that. Out of my 6 years I spent in the league, I think I went to the playoffs 4 times, so I was a little bit spoiled in that regard. When you're in those situations where you're playing for nothing, and when I say nothing, most guys play this game for 2 reasons. They play this game to get the check. They play this game to get the money. They play the game to get the check and get the ring.
You ring,
right?
Okay.
So if you once you realize that you no longer have an opportunity to get the ring, those checks are coming the same no matter what, no matter if you win or lose.
When they hit it. Tuesdays,
bro. Listen,
Thursday.
I don't remember. It's been too long.
It's been too long.
Every Tuesday they open up that check.
But either way, so now instead of knowing that you have a shot at playoff checks, and an opportunity to go get a ring, now it's just like I'm just carrying out my contract for this year.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, like, it's a different mindset. Guys go from trying to do everything that they possibly can, go out there to try to position themselves for the playoffs and build momentum and all that jazz, and now you're trying not to get hurt.
Yeah.
Right? So it's very difficult from a leadership perspective to lead a group of men, especially in this day and age where it's the me industry.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's worried about themselves, everybody's worried about their bag, worried about what they driving and what they walking in with wearing.
Right.
It's a very self-centered world that we live in right now, and to lead a locker room of young fellas that now have to try to come together as a team over these next 4 games and play for something more than themselves, that's going to be a huge challenge for these coaches.
Man, so you played for multiple teams then,
Yeah,
right?
I did. I was spoiled, man.
So you got a chance to see the Cowboys culture.
Yeah.
Can you break that down as much as is possible?
In comparison?
In comparison to the other culture that we're talking about.
I had a complete 180. So I went from – so understand the organizations that I played for. I played for Dallas, which was led by Coach Phillips at the time, but it was obviously the star.
Yeah.
Then I went straight to New England. I went straight to Bill Belichick. So
break that down, man.
It was completely different. It was funny because I remember my first day there, I'm looking around the parking lot seeing what Cass is driving. Because that's what I was accustomed to seeing. Right. When I'm in the locker room, I'm seeing Brady James pull up in one car, and then I'm seeing T. New drives up in something. Then I'm seeing Julius Jones drive up in something.
Yeah.
Leonard Davis pulls up in the big boy truck. Then Colombo pulls up in the big boy truck.
Yeah,
Come on with it.
And Larry Allen, I've seen him in a Lamborghini. I've seen his big ass in a Lamborghini.
Ain't no way he got in there.
What?
Absolutely.
He got to fold up like a wallet to get up in there.
Bro, I'm saying everything was a competition in Dallas, but it was for the wrong reasons.
Right. Don't say that out loud.
I'm just telling you what it was at that time. At that time, right? I can't speak to now, but at that time, one person shows up with a car, another person shows up with another car to try to show them up, right? So it was a competition about what you had.
Okay.
And now Cats competed on the field too, right? And we had some good teams when I was here, no doubt about it. We went 13-3, all that jazz. But when I went to New England, Cats didn't care. Like Cats legit did not care about what you were doing outside the building. And I got there, and I thought I knew what hard work was. I thought I knew what work ethic was. I started showing up early in the morning. Meeting started like 7:30. I would get there like 6, thinking I was doing something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about to be the first one in the building. Wrong.
Right.
These cats is already meeting with the coaches. They've been there since 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Cats is getting their lifts in, and I'm looking around like, what?
180.
What is this?
That's different.
What is this? You know, and the expectation was different. You know, when we win a ball game, Coach Belichick would be like, all right, guys, good win. Okay, make sure you guys are in there tomorrow to get some film. Like, it wasn't hoorah. It wasn't a great job. Like, we did that. It was boxes checked. We're on to the next one because this regular season stuff doesn't matter. So it was a completely different mindset. I learned a lot about the game there. I also went to Seattle, which was a super competitive environment under Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll, you know, high energy, super competitive. That's what his driving force was. Then I went to New York. Okay, New York was
which one?
Tom Coughlin.
Yeah.
Giants. Yes.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, went to the Giants, and that's where I won my Super Bowl ring with them. So that was a completely different culture as well. So I had a taste of a little bit of everything, and my perspective changed a lot.
Wow.
You know, a lot because you have all these different great leaders, and all those are all Hall of Fame coaches. You know what I mean?
You had the dynamics of different quarterbacks too then. So you was under Tony Romo.
Yes.
And then you got a chance to see Tom Brady.
180.
Eli Manning.
180.
180.
Yeah. And then you won the Super Bowl with Eli.
I also played with 2 of the top 3 receivers that ever played a game. I played with
Plexico
T.O.
Burrs?
No.
Come on, wait a minute.
He said ever played a game,
man. Okay. I was just trying
Plexico
to
not ever.
Plexico,
He not ever.
He wasn't the reason why y'all kind of got
wasn't.
that Super Bowl.
No. I wasn't even there. That was 07. I was in the 2011.
No, he was Tyree.
Yeah, I was Victor Cruz, Hakeem Nicks, all that.
Yeah. But break down the dynamics of the wide receiver.
Yeah.
Don't beat me up.
I went from T.O.
T.O.
I said Terry Glenn, Patrick Creighton, T.O. And I went from that, and I went straight to Randy Moss, Wes Welker.
You was on that team.
You just gonna leave my homeboy Roy Williams out like that.
Roy came in right before I left.
Okay.
Yeah, Roy good dude.
That's great.
He crazy.
So what was the difference between Tony Romo and Tom Brady?
Not even a comparison.
Wow.
No disrespect.
No disrespect. Okay.
No disrespect. It's not even worth a conversation, to be honest with you. It's Tony Romo was a good player, I didn't consider Tony Romo to be a leader.
Wow.
And again, that's not. I would say that to him. I mean, I never considered him to be a leader.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that took place on the team when I was in Dallas that I saw from behind the scenes that were disturbing, that got portrayed completely differently in the public eye.
Wow.
And T.O. was a leader.
Okay. He's the third person that told me that.
Well, yeah, I mean, you go in that receiver room and you talk about that, and that's not a secret, you know.
Okay.
And it's been said behind closed doors. They ain't really been said publicly because there's so much,
Correct.
you know, with Tony and and that whole conversation. But what you can say, I mean, Jerry said it.
Yeah.
Dak is the best leader I've ever been around.
Wow.
He's directly talking about compared to Tony Romo.
Compared to Tony.
He ain't really talking about Aikman.
Okay. Right,
Yeah. Tony wasn't a. And I guess the best example to give without sounding like I'm taking shots. Mm-hmm. When Tony walked in a room, you looked up and you kept going on about your conversation.
Oh, wow.
When TB12 walked in the room, you kind of stopped.
Stop.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of stop. Like,
Yeah.
and you watch. What is he about to do?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a certain presence when you have that form of leadership. And I went. You remember when I got cut from Dallas, Coach Bill, 2 days later, that was always that. It was a Labor Day weekend or whatever it is. Coach Belichick called me and was like, "Hey, can you still throw the ball?" So I went to New England as a quarterback.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. So Dallas never let me throw the ball. So when I got signed to go play for New England, it was as a quarterback. And then I started playing receiver as well. So I was on the depth chart. I was the third quarterback behind Tom Brady, Brian Hoyer, and then I was also starting at receiver with Randy Moss, Wes Welker.
You know, that's the difference between Belichick because he sees something in you.
Yeah.
I'm not something I want to use them. I got a package I want to use you in.
Yeah.
He knows how to use his players. He remembers you at the quarterback in college, and you know he can see that. And so that's the difference. Speaking of Belichick, how surprised you?
Yeah.
He's going to college.
Me too. I can't believe he's going to college either. But I was surprising at first until I did my homework to understand a little bit more about the landscape of the college game right now and where it's going in terms of where the money's at and the control that's going to be had by coaches going forward. The game's changed, man.
It goes like this. Would you rather be a king for a day or a prince for a lifetime?
And on top of that, he's taking care of his son.
Oh, that's what it is.
Oh, I didn't know that.
His son's the
You
coach.
didn't hear about that?
I didn't know that.
His son's the coaching weight. His son was never getting the head coaching job without.
So his son's at my school right now at the University of Washington.
Okay.
He's out there coaching right now. But a part of Bill Belichick going to UNC, I'm not sure if this is all the way public or if it's official. But
breaking news.
The word is that contractually, Belichick said that my son is my successor.
Right.
Let me ask you this then. So a lot of fans wanted Bill Belichick here. How would that dynamic?
It would never work.
It would never work.
It would never work.
Okay.
It would never work because of what Bill Belichick would ask for and would demand in terms of control. Bill Belichick isn't somebody that is going to position himself to have to go through other people to get things done.
Wow.
Right? And in the Dallas Cowboys' current form, you have to go through Mr. Jones.
Right.
And
Jerry's not trading for Trey Lance without letting the head coach know.
Yeah.
As he did last year. Without Mike McCarthy's knowledge. Bill Belichick is not letting it happen. That's not happening under Bill Belichick.
Isaiah,
not even a little bit.
You've been very, very, very close to the star. And a lot of people want to know the layers of it.
Okay.
How much of this is really on Stephen Jones, if you can speak freely on that? Because a lot of people say Jerry. But how much Stephen Jones is into this
I think
mix?
Stephen has his hand on this more than he ever has.
Okay.
I can't speak to it because I'm not sitting in those rooms, obviously.
Right.
But my understanding is that Stephen has a lot more say than people believe him to have. That's about as much as I can really say on it because I really don't know. Everything else would be speculation.
Well, I mean, Stephen is the one that's running the cap, and he's the one that's controlling the purse strings. And certainly, Jerry's still the final decision maker. But you go back to the Johnny Manziel. Jerry wanted Johnny Manziel. Stephen vetoed him.
Yeah.
When they drafted Zach Martin, which is a great move. But you wonder why the Cowboys are not spending a lot of money. It's because of Stephen Jones. Yep. And Jerry likes to spend money.
Okay.
Jerry got a history of spending money. He's a all wildcatter. He's glory hole. He likes going for it.
If there was no salary cap, Dallas would be at the top.
Yeah, I remember when they made the decision to draft Zach Martin over Johnny Manziel. Jerry was still complaining about it at training camp. He said, you don't lay up. He compared it to golf. He can't compare Zach Martin was a layup. You go for it.
You go for it.
You know, he wanted Johnny Manziel. He was still at training camp the year after they drafted Zach Martin. He was still complaining about the fact that they didn't get Johnny Manziel because his mentality is to go for it.
Go for it.
And go for the big one and try to get the big move. And so that's not really what Steven wants to do. And that brings us to the offseason. And Steven said yesterday that they're going to be tight. This year like they were last year. I don't know if you believe him. I don't know. We should believe him. But I don't know how you can improve this team. Yes, you get Dak back. Yes, you can talk about all the injuries without making moves to add significant players to the roster. One thing they didn't do was they didn't improve the roster from end of last season to coming into this season. They set Mike up for failure.
I think you just spoke to it. I think you just spoke to it without even saying it. Steven's focus is finances.
Is he any good at it?
Well, yeah, they're salary cap solving.
Yeah.
Of course, they're good at it. They ain't broke. They're a $10 billion franchise.
They
make
safe
money.
They gonna make you win. Though.
Okay, but you asked about finances.
We just talk about the focus. Where's the focus? Is the focus on
money?
Is the focus on the acquisition of players, or is the focus on keeping your money the way that it needs to be?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what has frustrated me. You're talking about the richest franchise in sports. Came out today. They're the first franchise valued at $10 billion.
Yeah.
And they're $1 million or so more than any other franchise in sports.
Yeah.
Ninth straight year they've been the richest franchise in sports. But yet they don't spend money in free agency like they shop at bargain basement.
That's the only way they can keep that title.
Well, they got the title because of the stadium. They got title because of the Ford Center.
I know.
They got title because of the jersey sales.
I know.
Because it ain't because of winning.
Yeah.
But jersey sales and all that stuff, I would imagine, is starting to go down.
How
because
much
training camp was not the same this year.
The players know that. You know, D-Law, put your daddy on the phone. Let's go get this deal done. Because he was talking to Stephen Jones, and Stephen Jones ultimately didn't want to really sign that deal off. Am I on the right lane with that? Am I correct with that?
Well, you talking about when D-Law, he said, you chose to be an owner. I can't, I'm not, his statements were, you chose to be an owner. It's not my job to worry about your salary cap.
Right.
You know, and so he
threatened
to hold out on he threatened to hold out and not have a surgery
right.
and all the other stuff, and it's going to be another question again with D-Law this year. But
absolutely.
But again, do you see this team winning next year? And let's go back.
Yeah, go back.
Do you see Mike McCarthy coming back as coach next year?
I do see Mike McCarthy coming back because I think that if you try to go another direction, you're literally rolling the dice, and I'm not sure that you're willing to run the risk of having another season like this because you're trying to build and guys are trying to acclimate to a new culture. Guys are trying to acclimate to new systems and all that. I'm not sure that you're willing to run that risk of having another season because of that.
Okay.
You're having this season this year because of injuries.
So how will you marry his contract? Will it be a 1 year that's the same, or will it have to be a 2 or 3 year deal?
I think it has to be a 2 year. I don't think he's signing a 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see him signing a 1 year deal either. You know, I know he likes staying here. I know his family's here, and he wants to be here. But his agent, they're not signing a 1 year deal.
Okay.
But again, his saving grace, the best proponent for Mike coming back is not necessarily because of what he's doing, and I think he's done a good job.
Yeah.
Okay, keeping his team together, but because ain't nobody else. Who else you gonna get?
There's nobody else.
And you said number 4, but number 4 like Jason Garrett. Number 4 like Kellen Moore. Number 4 like Scott Linehan.
He'll go
number 4 like
go along, get along.
Well, I mean, those are the guys that enabled him. Those are the guys that made him quarterback. It's not a go along, but those are the guys.
But he fought and he stood up for Mike McCarthy, but Mike McCarthy didn't fight and stood up for him. He said, "What do he mean?"
Well,
break it down.
That's two different things.
Break it down for me. Help me out.
First of all, Mike ain't trying to lead his job before his time. So
break it down. Break it down to me.
Right?
It's called playing politics.
He threw Dak right in front of the bus.
Playing politics. There's only so much you can say.
Dak is secure.
Okay, he's
Dak
secure.
ain't going nowhere.
All right.
Okay, Mike is not secure.
Okay.
So just because Dak said it, Mike can't say what Dak said. Come on, you got to understand that. It's not he didn't throw Dak under the bus.
He did. No, he did.
He just
tell the audience what did Mike McCarthy say?
Dak talked about wanting Mike to come back with more power and
Okay.
influence. Okay?
Influence was the word.
And Mike said, I got more influence
Than I've had.
Here.
than I had in Green Bay, which is a factual statement. That does not mean
That
he doesn't
he
want
hasn't.
more influence here. He just said, I have more influence here than I had, which is facts.
Yeah.
He didn't have, in Green Bay, it was a delineation. The GM picked the players.
Okay.
The coach coached the players. He does have influence on who's on this roster.
So he wanted Jalen Brooks out there skating out there on the field.
Stop it,
He
man.
wanted
Stop,
Jalen
stop,
Tolbert
stop,
out there.
stop,
He didn't want to
stop.
go out there and get other wide receivers
Stop
to help
it, stop it.
alleviate some of the
I
pressure.
honestly
Come
think-
on now.
He pecked those guys.
I
He,
honestly-
he wanted Ezekiel Elliott to run this ball
he
instead of
did.
Rico.
Stop,
Come on,
stop.
come on. Don't tell me.
Stop. You're missing the point, though.
Go ahead.
You're missing the point.
What's the point?
The statement was, does he have influence?
Does he have influence?
He has more influence than he had in Green Bay. He had
Okay.
no influence in Green Bay. He has influence on the final roster. He does have influence on who's playing.
Okay.
And we're mixing the thing with Rico. Okay. First of all,
here we go. Break it down.
they didn't know what Rico was. They didn't. Don't do that, because they didn't. At the start of the season,
They knew what Rico was.
no, they didn't.
They
You know why they didn't? Because he's never done it before. As a coach,
McCarthy-
they did not know.
are we tell the truth on here?
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
You know,
Okay, you're talking about a guy that's never. Okay, my point is this.
Let me say this. Let me say this.
He's never been the lead guy. Going back to college, he's never been a 20 carry a game guy. That's all I'm saying.
Let me go back to the Dak comment.
Okay, go back. Okay,
What
go,
I
go,
believe
go.
Dak was insinuating was that I don't believe Coach McCarthy has the power to discipline the players in which the way he wants to.
That's two different things.
Oh, that's two, yeah.
Now, that's
I like that point.
And that made me speak to what the Zeke thing.
Yes.
But Zeke was left back home,
If-
and he's still on the roster because he didn't come to meetings.
Okay, that's all he had to. Hey, that's enough right there.
And I believe
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah,
that if it was up to Coach McCarthy, I don't think Zeke would ever have been on the team.
I heard.
Well, and certainly
that,
after you don't come to meetings
Okay.
and you're not productive.
You're not allowed. Certain things aren't allowed because if I allow it, I can no longer manage this team the way
Right.
it needs to be
Right,
managed.
right.
So if I don't have the power to discipline you the way in which I would normally do,
Right.
then I am perpetuating that culture.
You ever heard the saying "scared money make no money"? He's on the final year of his contract. Shouldn't he bang the table and said, "Hey, I got to do it my way.
No,
At least I
because-
got to go down my way."
But if he doesn't have the power,
Oh, well, he can't say what Zeke.
he doesn't have that power.
But again,
I got
bang
it.
the table to do what?
Who gets the final say?
Bang the table to do what?
If he's the head coach, you
Who
gonna
gets-
fire me? You gonna fire me?
Who
then.
gets the final say?
Jerry?
But bang the table to do what? At the point is that when do you? I mean, the time to add players was in February, in March.
March,
Okay,
yeah.
Banging the table in August ain't gonna make no difference. Banging the table, you're not really gonna add different making players. But just get into the thing on Rico.
Get on Rico.
Okay,
Yeah.
Rico was a dog in camp.
he was a dog in camp.
Yeah.
But again,
He was your best running back in camp.
there's no question about that. But he had never carried the load.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
Never been a 20 carry guy
Because-
whatever
you're right.
reason.
You're right. You're absolutely
Okay.
correct. But you can say that about every player until they get their opportunity.
Agree.
So if
But- and
if
now
I'm,
he's
if
gotten
I'm doing
this
my
oppor-
yeah,
yeah.
but if I'm doing my job and I go to training camp and I perform the way in which I need to in order to become the best player at my position
Yeah.
on this team, I should be the starter.
He should have been a starter. He was a starter week 2, okay? The point is they were still doing the rotation because they didn't know that he – listen, I'm just going to tell you.
How do you
Go
find
ahead.
out?
Go ahead.
How do you find out?
Say it up. Say it.
I'm going to tell you like last week.
Say it.
He had 2 14-yard runs. He tapped out.
Okay.
Okay. I mean,
The coaches wanted him to stay in there.
oh, he tapped out. So
I'm talking about last week on Monday night.
No, you're right.
You talking about
How many?
I'm talking about Monday night.
Let me ask you this question.
And the 5-minute mark when he ran at 14,
Yes.
he tapped out.
Yes.
Oh, I look at
But-
it differently.
but hold on,
then.
hold on. Let me look
Go
at-
ahead.
Let me ask you this question.
They never said Rico come out the
Hold
game,
but
Zeke
hold
go
on.
in the game.
You know, I don't disagree. You're making a great point. But however, had he been given the opportunity to lead and get those reps earlier in the year, his body would have been accustomed to handling that load. But they're waiting until the end of the year. He's had 2 games with over 20 carries.
But it's a mentality.
2 games out of 13?
I agree, but it's a mentality. At the point, I've talked to Rico. He said, I come out when I want to come out. They don't tell. There's no rotation anymore. You got to want to ball.
When did that happen, though? What week? He come out when he wanted to come out.
It was after the bye.
After the bye?
For sure.
What really,
after he was sick, and it was after the bye. He's the full-time back.
What happened in that San Francisco thing?
He was sick.
What's that?
He was sick.
He was sick?
There was no conspiracy about that.
Oh, yeah.
He was sick?
There was no conspiracy about that.
Kissing babies, shaking hands, sick.
Come on, man. It's 2 different things. No, you're looking for conspiracy, but it wasn't. Yeah, he was sick. But again,
allegedly, you can't put that in there.
No, he was sick.
Okay.
I mean, the guy wants to play. They didn't want to put that best.
Would Jordan do that?
Jordan who?
How Jordan.
I mean, come on, man. Why you gonna
Kobe
compare
Bryant.
Rico? Why you gonna compare Rico to Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant? Man, come on.
Emmett.
Stop it, man. You talking about the legends, Hall of Famers, man. We're
Well,
just talking about a guy who
he don't want it enough.
He will, but he has to grow into that, and that's all we're saying.
How many years he's been in the league?
But to your point, he should have been receiving those reps earlier.
He should have been,
because he had earned the right to be the number 1 guy, and the only way you find out if he can handle it is if you give him the opportunity to fail.
Yeah.
He should have been. There's no question about that. There's no question about that. And, they had Zeke on the team, and there was a certain amount of, treating him with some kind of respect. I got, 2-time where he's here. We can't just let him sit until,
No, I'm not hearing that.
I'm not saying they
I
should have
know
done
what
that.
you're saying. I know you're saying you're just keeping it 100. But I'm saying that.
I'm just telling you their mentality. But again, I just think that when you haven't done it for coaches, you got to show me you can do it. Now, you said they should just put him out there, but you got to show me that you can do it. You've never been going back to college, you've never been the every down back. He's still not every down back.
Agreed.
And you still haven't carried the ball 20 times a game. So I really am thinking about Mike McCarthy. It's a 16-game season. I want to wear you out. I want to keep you fresh. We're going in rotation. I mean, that's their mentality.
I hear you.
Right, wrong, or indifferent.
I hear you.
It's
not how I would do it.
And then at this point in the season, Monday night, when you had the 100-yard game, you're rolling, you had another 100-yard game, and you tap out. That speaks to something. You can tell me what it speaks to, but that speaks whether body should have been ready. That's just part of it.
I understand.
And that's something. That's still some growth.
All I know is history this year shows if you give Rico Dowdle the ball 20 times, you give him the ball 20 times, good things happen.
No doubt. And
the times that he was 18 carries, 19 carries, he had 86, 87 yards.
And as we move forward this week, Carolina has a horrible run defense. Run Rico.
Their pass defense is worse.
Hey, they gave the Eagles a run for their money.
Okay, one thing that you guys
they gave the Eagles, they gave the Chiefs, and they gave Tampa Bay
because they're trying. And
one possession game losses.
It's a mentality because they're trying.
And they favor to win this game too.
Yeah, they're trying, and they're motivated because Jerry shit on them last year.
Yeah,
he did.
What's the Jimmy Johnson thing? Wow. They're mad. Their owner was pissed.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
But they did the Ring of Honor thing at their facility.
They have a heck of a head coach.
Yeah, so they're pissed. They're going to be motivated. But yeah, there are ways the Cowboys can win this game.
Right.
Can the quarterback make the passes necessary?
Dallas' quarterback?
Yes.
What's the storyline?
And that's the thing about me is
from your perspective.
About what?
Trey Lance versus Cooper Rush opportunities. Now, I'm not saying that
Cooper Rush is safe. Trey Lance needs more reps.
Why he's not getting it? $5 million to hold the clipboard.
He's getting in 1 year that Cooper Rush is getting in both years.
Yeah.
First of all, $5 million is not an issue.
I get that.
What's the money's not an issue.
I wish I would have got $5 million.
I agree, but most back that's what they do. Chase Daniel made a career. All them, Josh McCown. How many times they made a career?
They would give five. They would give five.
Look at the money Chase McDaniel made.
I'm gonna look it up.
Over his career, huh? Over his career to sit. But that's what backup quarterbacks get. But Stephen Jones said he's green. He said that yesterday.
He's very green. I called all 3 of the games. He's very green.
He's green. Yeah.
I get the stat line all the time. Calling all 3 of the preseason games this year, Trey Lance pass attempts.
Right.
The number of pass attempts that he had in the preseason this year was half of the pass attempts he had in his entire collegiate career in 3 games.
Yeah.
Right.
You only can make it by playing it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
put
but
him out there.
but it's not-
You only have a 1% chance of making the
you
playoffs.
got
Yeah.
other people's careers in your hands. I mean, you just can't say let's just throw him out there
That's what they
when
did.
you're trying to win. If you're trying, before now they were still trying to win.
He's not ready.
But that's what they did in the preseason. They
'cause
threw
it's
him out there to try to
the
evaluate.
game,
So you couldn't really
'cause
get
they
a
were
true
meaningless.
evaluation.
They were meaningless games.
No, but they are meaningful. Did Tom Brady play preseason?
Stop it, man.
Trey Lance, the only way he's going to get reps is in the preseason.
Stop it.
That's the
It's not,
only way
it's
he's
not a
going to get reps.
comparison. It's not a comparison.
But
That's
I'm
just a reality.
saying, what I'm saying is what I'm getting at is even Tom Brady, as great as he is in the legacy that he had, he played preseason games to get ready to make sure that these
Okay, but the whole
evaluations of the
team
players-
did, but the Cowboys
Yeah.
were not playing their starters in the
And that's
preseason.
one of the problems.
That
with
wasn't
the
Okay, that's
development.
fine, but we're talking about Trey Lance.
Yeah, we're talking about development.
We're talking about
Development.
development, Trey Lance. They were Tom Brady was not out there trying to develop. The whole team was getting ready. So it's 2 different conversations.
The best way, we already know who Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush been in the league for 7 years.
The Cowboys just found out who Cooper Rush is.
They just found out who he
They
is.
just
First of all,
Good Lord.
they may already know who Trey Lance is. You just don't know. They've been watching him in practice for 2. They've been watching him practice for 2 years. Stephen Jones came yesterday at the owners meeting and said he's green. This is why quarterbacks need to stay in college. He's been experienced. He's green. We're trying to win, and that's not the way you win by putting somebody out there who's green. So they know it. He said we got guys who develop quarterbacks and they know what they're looking at. He said that yesterday.
well.
Okay, so the idea that they don't know what he is.
How green is Tyler Guyton is.
Stop it. He was a first-round pick. Stop it.
Come
man.
on,
man.
man.
You
Trey
can't-
Lance first-round draft pick.
Not for the
Tyler-
Cowboys.
But what I'm saying is
Not for the Cowboys.
Awesome Richards was a whole lot better than Tyler Guyton, and they still put Tyler Guyton out there.
Yeah, because it was his first year. You're still investing. This is 4 years later. You can't.
I'm just pulling
you
with
can't
you,
do
man.
that.
I'm just pulling with
can't-
you.
you
I'm
can't-
just using your
Tyler-
analysis against you.
Tyler Guyton's not a physical development problem. It's a mental.
Yeah.
It's mental. Okay, so he just
Yeah,
needs
and
mental.
he has to be tougher.
Yep.
Let's just be honest about it. He has to be tougher.
He's mentally soft right now.
Yeah, he has to be tougher. But my thing on Trey, on Cooper,
Yeah.
we got to start blaming the quarterback.
Who wasn't?
Well, when he does good, that's
Yeah.
what you got for Cooper. Then when he does bad, that's just Cooper Rush.
No, Cooper Rush in past years
Okay.
threw the ball on time.
Right.
To make up for his lack of velocity on the ball.
Okay.
Right.
His velocity has fallen all the way
Oh my
off
God,
this
it was
year.
awful Monday night.
It's fallen off. His throws are not on time. So balls that are not thrown on time with a lack of velocity and inaccuracy,
Right.
it's just a bad ball.
Yeah,
There's a lot of that.
The amount of balls he dirted the other night, and it's funny because I saw you posted about Mike McCarthy going over him to run. A lot of people, he should have gotten. Let me
Yeah.
finish.
No, you
Rico had
good.
that good 14-yard run. Then he threw the ball. The pass he threw was a bootleg.
To the wrong side.
No, it was a perfect. The play was wide open. Ferguson was wide open. Schoolmack was wide open.
Which
All he
play?
had to do was stop
Set his feet.
on that bootleg after to the left.
Okay.
Bootleg to the left.
Yeah.
It was after Rico had the big run, and Mike said, "I'm trying to set some stuff up. I'm trying to, go to the left so I can get back to the running game."
Correct.
And so he went. He was trying to get on the other hash. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but because you ripped him about his play calling, and it was a great
I
play.
didn't know he tapped out too, though.
Yeah, okay, he
so,
did.
I didn't know
because
that.
he had,
so I didn't know that.
but it was a perfect play call because the tight end was wide open. Both tight ends was wide open, and he bootleg with no pressure, did not set his feet, and threw the ball in the ground. The one to Ferguson on the left side is bootleg. It's like there was no reason. So we blame
What
the
about
play
what
call.
about the last play?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you, from a former quarterback, CeeDee Lamb versus press coverage on the left side by himself.
Right.
CeeDee Lamb Tostito'd his dude,
Yeah.
killed him, and you don't look.
Right. Exactly. So at some point, everybody, he's a good, like we treat him like a baby, look at him, look when he makes a good play. He's an 8-1, he's a good one. Then when he doesn't, he's just, he's Cooper Rush, and so that's what we expected.
Right. It's Cooper Rush, though.
You know what you have in Cooper Rush.
You do.
And if they were unsure prior to this year, they now know.
They know now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what they was hanging on, he was 5-1 as a starter.
Well, he was.
And they was listening in to the outside noise.
And he was 7-3 coming into last week.
He's playing worse.
Ain't 7-4.
He's playing worse this year than he has in the past. That's just facts.
Yeah.
No doubt, man, no doubt. Again, you expect Mike back. Do they win this week in Carolina?
I think they win.
Okay.
Yeah, they win.
Okay.
They win. I mean, mainly because, but it's going to fall on Cooper Rush's shoulders.
Come on with it.
Right. Because the secondary has some dudes in it. They got some dudes.
Right.
But they don't play the technique that allows for them to be dudes.
As a person who sees quarterback all the time and you evaluate those, how far is Will Greer then?
I haven't seen Will.
Will Greer's not even in. No. He's not better than Rush.
No, man, come on.
Okay, I'll just try to throw that out there. Okay, good.
I got one. Before I let you go,
home.
let's ask about the receivers, okay?
The receivers.
They came into this season wanting to see something.
From who?
From the receivers outside of CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks.
Outside of those two.
Yes. What happened? What happened?
I want to take a big gulp.
What happened? That's
Troy Aikman called it out.
Yeah.
What'd he say?
He was talking about one particular player.
Okay.
And that particular player was Jalen Tolbert.
Number one. And so I have a problem with you wearing with number one. You can't play. I personally, I got a problem.
That's a curse number now.
If you wear number one, you ought to be a player.
It's a want to.
Okay.
It's a want to.
It's not an ability. I think that's probably
because people talk about his ability all the time.
It's not an ability.
Concentration
thing. I think
drops.
That's probably the most
slipping on the field.
It's effort.
I thought Ryan Flo was going to give a good push.
Stop it, man. Stop it. He's a 7th-round pick for a reason. With all due respect.
I thought he was giving a better push than what we seen out of Jalen Brooks. I thought he would greet the ball. I thought he can catch the
Jalen
ball.
Brooks was also a 7th-round pick.
I know. But this is what we're dealing with. These are the deck of cards we're dealing with. What about Jonathan Mingo?
Stop it, man.
Mingo! Somebody said Mingo.
Hey, Mingo's been open.
Okay, see what you see out of Mingo.
Is he gonna catch the ball when he open?
We don't know. They ain't throwing it to him.
or throwing it where he can catch it. Yeah.
He's
but it's a disappointment. The receivers, the development of receivers.
I'm disappointed in Tolbert. I'm disappointed in the lack of development at that position group.
Do you look at the wide receiver coach now? Okay, all right.
You have to.
Everybody has to be evaluated.
Okay.
You have to
because when you look at this team, you have to look at this team, and there's a people don't talk about the position coaches enough.
Right.
The one position coach that does not get enough praises but continues to develop every single freaking year is Lunda Wells.
Lunda, I like him.
You tell me that every tight end that you get is good?
Right.
Every single one that you get is just good and game ready?
Because Schoonmaker done made a leap this year.
Schoonmaker had no dog in him prior to these last few games. And then all of a sudden, he found a way. I've had plenty of conversations with Lunda. Name a tight end that's come through that room that hasn't been able to contribute.
Right. Everybody developed.
Right.
Even Span Forward.
Span Forward's going to be a dude.
He's going to be a dude. He learned how to kick because he's the best blocker on the team.
So there has to be emphasis placed on the position group and the position coaches because they have a job to do in terms of development. They're not there just to play babysitter.
Right.
They're there to develop those guys.
I want to retain Lunda Well. I don't want to let him go.
You better cut the
Jerry! You going to have to pay Lunda Well.
You better cut the check. That's one of your best coaches on the staff. And you're going to have some real conversations about the defensive staff because
what is
I'll
the
play?
play?
You're going to have some real conversations about the defensive
What is
staff.
the play of Al Harris being the assistant head coach?
You better if you want to retain Al, you either better change coordinators or you better move them up to something.
What's the pecking order? Assistant head coach, defensive coordinator. What's that?
That's a.
With all due respect, isn't he already the assistant head coach?
He's the head. Yeah, he's.
That's the only way they were able to retain him this year.
With all due respect,
it's
a title.
It's a title.
Yeah. He's not running nothing.
That's the only reason they were able to retain him this year. He's about to be in Washington.
Yeah, he's not. I didn't
know that.
He's not running nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so when a D coordinator or O coordinator or whatever, in this instance, the D coordinator left the Dallas Cowboys when they become a head coach.
Right.
He can now go grab his guys. If you don't, as an organization, my understanding here, you might know better than me. As an organization, if you don't want one of your position group coaches to leave, the only way in which you can say no, you can't go.
Yeah.
It's for him to get upgraded.
Oh, okay, that's a brilliant move.
He has
by
to be
them.
upgraded, right?
So that's why Al got the upgrade.
So how that Rooney Rule works of us getting a draft pick if he get to another team, he have to be a head coach.
Yeah.
So we get draft picks.
That's why Carolina got it.
Okay.
Dave Canales.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. I
Absolutely,
appreciate
bro.
you taking the time out,
Absolutely, bro.
coming hanging out with us. You know, we do this every
Appreciate
Thursday
you.
here at
Yes,
Echo
sir.
Lounge. Next Thursday, we got a couple of Christmas parties at Dallas Fort
Yeah.
Worth Association of Black
Come on with
Journalists are doing a Christmas party, doing a pajama we want donation pajamas for children's pajamas here next Thursday. So we're going to do it right at Echo Lounge, man. Again, Law Nation, appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Keep doing your thing, man.
Absolutely,
Keep doing your thing.
Oh,
Keep
you
rising,
had
man.
my-
I did, man.
I
You
didn't
left me
hang it, dog.
I picked it up for you. Now.
He left me hanging.
I love you, Hank.
Again, Cowboys and Chill next Thursday back here. But
Come
again,
on with
appreciate
it.
these guys.
Can I ask you one more question?
What's
though?
up?
One more question.
What's good?
Why are you killing us?
Pete Carroll got an itch again.
To do what?
To coach.
He 137
Pete Carroll, you
years old.
coach, you
don't act
replayed
like
up under him.
I know he don't act like
Don't act like it.
Hey, Dallas. Hey.
Stop it, man.
Will he fit in Dallas? That's all I want to know. Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll, understand this. What you get out of Dan Quinn came from the Pete Carroll cloth.
Man, that's all I'm going to say here. Y'all heard it over here. Come on with it. Give me my theme music. Let's get on up out of here. Yeah! Come on with it, baby! Echo Lounge brought to you by Cowboys and Chill. Peace.